Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Monday morning, May 10th, 2021 at 7:59 a.m. Central. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, and we typically will record and post the training on YouTube for a later reference. Today, we're going to talk about a really exciting topic which puts more money in your pocket without any extra work. And so we're going to review the simple process that we go through for those of you that are new, like Dwayne, and then also reiterate how you can earn extra income from that. I have my screen shared, and so before we get to the agenda, which is on the left, I'm going to go over to the right side here. And so this is on our website, iimfl.org, and then we go to the Access to Capital page, but we provide each of you at no cost a landing page that looks just like this. So it has embedded YouTube video, a brief description, a flyer, but the most important part of this page on our website as well as on your free replicated landing pages is this area right here. Because remember, when you're working with prospective entrepreneurs that's looking for funding, you are not selling them anything. You're not charging them anything. Your role is simply to help them see if they qualify for this grant subsidized program through a 501c3 nonprofit that guarantees a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. And guess what? There's no minimum credit scores, no minimum time in business to qualify for the program. It's the real deal, and all you're doing is helping see if they qualify. Well, how do you do that? Super simple. So again, on your landing page that looks just like this, you're going to walk them through a 3-step process. Step 1 is well, all of the steps are remarkably simple, but step 1 is just this. As we've talked about on prior trainings, and let me make reference to that. So on the career page here, there is a step-by-step guide. So you want to watch this if you've not watched this, but let's go back to where we are because I'm giving you a kind of a Cliff Notes version here. So what you could do, which I wouldn't recommend, is just send out your link because you're going to have a unique link to your unique landing page, and anyone that comes through your link, you'll get credit for. But what I know, and I think you'll probably agree with, is just sending out a link to a bunch of people, especially a bunch of strangers, probably will not generate meaningful conversion. But conversely, if you walk them through it, then we have recognized almost 100% conversion rate. So step 1 is helping them put in their first name, last name, email, and phone. You don't want to type it in for them. You want to guide them, coach them, instruct them how to do that, but you want them to be on your landing page. If you put it in for them and then hit get started, it's going to take you to step 2, which makes reference over here. And you can't fill out all this information for them. You shouldn't be filling out this information for them. So you can be on the phone with them. You could be, I guess, texting with them. You could be in person. Theoretically, you could just provide them the link. But what you don't want to do is be their secretary, per se, and put the information in. Because once we get from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, they need to be doing this. They need to enroll in the program. Okay, so that's the 3 steps I'm making reference to. Step 1 is just this simple. Them putting in first name, last name, email, phone. They get started. That takes them to the second step. They'll review that. They'll click OK, and then they'll put in some additional information about their business. Those are the 3 steps. Okay, so let's pivot over today's agenda. So since we've had a quick refresher on what you're doing. You're not selling anything to anyone. You're just simply helping entrepreneurs, whether they be pre-launch, startup, or existing, helping them see if they qualify for a guaranteed $100,000 or more of funding to start or grow a business through a 501c3 nonprofit grant subsidized program. Again, there's no minimum credit scores, no minimum time in business to qualify for the program. So that's the pitch, if you will. Now let's go over and talk about our agenda topic today. It was important to understand those 3 steps. So effective today, May 10th, 2021, we're going to launch a new weekly bonus program, an extra $250 paid out weekly in your pocket. We want to do this for a couple reasons, which I'll describe more fully, but there's no strings attached. It's great. Many of you are already quite active, so you're going to qualify for this automatically, and others, maybe this will create the carrot or the positive incentive to be a little bit more diligent and help people just do those 3 steps we just talked about. So again, there's no extra work other than sending us an invoice, which is simple. I'll show you that in a minute. There's no selling involved. There's no expense. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to pay anything. And we pay this out weekly. So this is in addition to the normal comp plan. This is not taking anything away from you. This is new compensation. All right, so why are we doing it? We just covered the what. Well, we want our active distribution partners to be more active and help 10 or more clients per week. And there's many of you on the Zoom right now that this is almost just a gift because you're already knocking out 10 a week. Take Joseph and Mark and Peggy and several of you, Bernard, you're already doing this. So this is just extra money in your pocket. But for those of you that are not helping at least 10 people a week, see if they qualify, then this might be that positive inducement to get you to do just a little bit more. And remember, it takes 2 to 3 minutes to take people through those 3 steps. So this is not a big commitment of time. So more money in your pocket for helping others. Let's go through the how. And we've kind of cheated on that already and talked a lot about it, but let's go through. So you're going to use the free access to capital landing page. It's going to look just like this, but it's going to be the one that you receive when you signed up to be an affiliate partner. We provide that free automatically now. You say, oh, I don't have that. That's not going to work for me. Then go over to the career tab and click this gray box right here. It's free. It's easy. And once you fill it out, the system will send you an email very quickly. If you don't see it, check your spam or filters. And it'll have 2 links. One link to be able to sign sub-affiliate so you can earn overrides, and one that's going to provide you a link to your landing page that looks precisely like this, but it's hard coded to you. Because you might say, well, there's no referred by field on here. How am I going to get credit? Well, that's why you use your landing page link, because everyone that comes through that is coded directly to you. All right, so number 1 on the how, you're going to use your access to capital landing page, and you're going to see if they qualify for the no upfront cost, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise by helping them complete the 3 steps. And again, you're seeing step 1 here. You're not seeing step 2, but if you complete this, then it'll take you to step 2. And then there's another little green box and takes you to step 3. Simple and easy. Now in step 3, it'll ask some questions like what is and it's not talking about you, it's talking about the client or the participant. What's the participant's EIN number? Well, if there's something that they're being asked that they don't have, it doesn't really like blank fields, but you could just put unknown or TBD for to be determined, or not yet, you could say. But there's no strings attached. When you get to that step 3, it's not as if they're going to get kicked out because they haven't done enough to set up their business properly yet, but we are going to try to collect the information that they do have. So this is also to protect us. So what we don't want you to do is just find a bunch of people's names, phone numbers, and emails and just plop them all in here, because you could hypothetically do that. They, instead of the screen taking them to the next page to do step 2, it's going to take you to step 2. Well, you cannot legally, ethically, morally fill all this out for them. It's like you can't go down to the car dealership and buy a car for someone in their name and finance it, right? That's fraud. So they need to do it. Even if someone tried to game the system and just put in a bunch of people's first name and then agreed on step 2, there's still information on step 3. So we have the right, if step 3 looks fraudulent, everything is put unknown or to be determined. So it's really not even a valid application. So again, we want to pay these $250 a week out incentives. We want you to help more people. We want you to make more money, but just keep in mind, please don't try to scheme the system, because it will be identified and it's tracking the IP address. And so if you're enrolling people on your computer over and over, and if you're not literally out there with a laptop and the clients with you, that's fraud, and you can't do that. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so step one, use your landing page, help them go through the 3 steps, which I think we've talked about adequately now. And what we're looking for is 10 in a given week. Now, there's 2 schools of thought. Some of you, again, are already knocking out more than 10 a week. Take Brian, take Beatrice, April. You know, I think many of you are blowing past 10 a week already. So this is just a free gift. But then there's others of you that seem to kind of struggle along. So maybe this is an extra inducement. So you need at least 10 in a week to earn the $250 bonus. It's not unreasonable because you're not selling anything to anyone. It doesn't take much time. And we've talked about the simple 3 steps. Now, we needed to define the week just so we're all on the same page. And so this isn't meant to be technical to rule anyone out, but if we didn't define when the week is, your week might be different than our week, and then there might be a disagreement. So for this campaign, each week starts at midnight in the morning on Saturday mornings. So thus the prior week ends at 11:59 p.m. Central the prior week. And so, of course, that's going to be triggered off of when you've helped someone complete the 3 steps. So could someone do step 1 and not complete step 2 and 3? They could. And you'll be notified, by the way, if they stall out and they don't complete the steps. But what we're talking about here is that they've completed the 3 steps, all 3, because you can't complete step 3 without doing 2, and you can't do 2 without 1, right? So we need all 3 steps completed within a given week. And as long as you've done that 10 or more times, which is not difficult, ask LJ, ask Mark, many of these that are knocking those numbers out of the park, then you earn an extra $250. And we'll pay you that the next business day. So since the weeks end on Friday, then we should be able to pay you on Monday. Now, you're going to go ahead and send us an invoice. And this is not real technical. It can be just an email. You're going to send it to me. Here's my email. Oh, I didn't put .org on there for some reason. But you're going to email it to me. And all you're going to do is list out the people and the dates. So the people's name, you'll know, right? Because you get the feedback system now is superb. Even when people just complete step 1 on your landing page, you're notified via email. And certainly you're notified if they start and they don't complete it, but you're notified of those that complete it. So you'll email us the names and then the dates. Well, what dates? The dates that they've completed the 3rd step. Because while completing step 1 is the first step, it's not what we need. We need them to complete the 3 steps. So you don't have to go searching for that. The system will automatically email you for each client name and date. And then if you want to be paid at that week, at that time, you'll just email over an invoice and we'll cut you payment the next business day. Now, if you forget to invoice at a certain time, you don't lose that money. It doesn't go away. So what will happen is it'll just continue to accrue. So some of you may only want to invoice us once a month and you just want to be paid $1,000 at a time instead of $250. That's your choice. But you're going to trigger saying, hey, I'm ready to be paid. Just email me the client names and dates that are included in this given week. Make sense? And we're going to reconcile, of course, but I'm sure that you'll be accurate. Okay, and so then thirdly, on the how, you're still paid the normal compensation. So this is not taking anything away. This is pure profit to you. So you'll still get the $1,250 up front. So of course, the clients pay nothing up front. Now, as soon as they complete those 3 steps, the first thing that we do is help them get their first tranche financing. We're 100% successful now, as long as the client's participating in getting them their first round of funding up front. Even before we start the 4-week curriculum, we want to get their refundable deposit funded, which gets their skin in the game and gets you paid. Again, we don't collect $2,500 out of their pocket. Instead, we wait until they get the first round of funding. And 100% of the time now, we can get people their first round of funding. That first round of funding might be a lot of money, or it might be a little bit money for the client, depending upon their circumstances, but it'll always be at least enough to cover their refundable deposit. So you're still getting that. Nothing's being taken away from you, and you're still getting the 3% of the capital raise. So if they raise 100,000, guess what? You get 3,000. So the normal compensation remains, nothing's going away. This is extra income. Some of you are writing the key person policies, and if you're doing that, then great, you're still getting that. So again, nothing being taken away, only more income, and the trigger, the reward, is having 10 conversions in a week, which for some of you that are new, that may seem like a lofty amount, but let's go back and revisit the proposition one more time. If you were to go out and talk to people that either own small businesses or thinking about starting small businesses, and let's just role play. Let's pick someone out here that's on the call. So we have Will Hicks on the line. Will and I did a workshop up in Chicago, so I'll pick on Will for a second. So if Will went out and talked to a group of small businesses and said, hey, I work with a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a grant subsidized program that guarantees a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow a business. Could you give me 2 or 3 minutes and we could see if you qualify? Keep in mind, there's no minimum credit scores. There's no minimum time in business to qualify. And the reason that you want to clarify that is that's what rules out a lot of people. And then what Will would do is run them through the 3 steps, right? And if he's done that 10 times in a week, then Will's got an extra $250. Well, I realize $250 isn't enough probably to make a big difference, but those of you that are joint venture partners or running better credit stores, that covers your expense of those roles. And for others, you know, an extra $1,000 a month is maybe a nice compliment. Again, the bigger money will always come from the normal process itself. So, and LJ's pointing out, so I apologize for the confusion. So the bonus is a weekly $250 bonus. So $250. And to qualify, you have had to help at least 10 people. So no, it's not $250 times 10. That would be $2,500. So the bonus is an extra $250 a week. And to qualify for it, you have to help at least 10 people see if they qualify, which is the simple 3-step process. I mean, it's a gimme. It's an absolute gimme. There's no reason that any of you are diligent. To some extent, this will probably separate those that are the haves and the have-nots. It'll separate those who are engaged versus those who are dabbling. Because if you have any type of marketing or outreach campaign going, then helping 10 a week with this no upfront cost, essentially a free proposition, is quite easy. But our goal is to reward those of you that are performing, get more money in your pocket, and those of you that are not performing to be motivated to do so. Okay, so with that, I think I covered, let's go back to this. So what are the requirements? Again, at least 10 people per week, and we define when the week runs up here, so there's no misunderstanding. All you're going to do is help them see if they qualify using the 3 steps over here. Super simple. Got to just take a few minutes per person. Again, you cannot put their information in those 3 steps, right? Because that would be fraudulent. Now you're acting like you're them. And unless you have some sort of power of attorney to do so, that's fraud. So you want to help them go through the 3 steps, but it's just like a mortgage. You can't take someone's information, go down to the bank or the mortgage loan officer and sign people up for a mortgage. That's not appropriate. It's not legal. All right. Secondly, you're going to invoice us, which again, it doesn't have to be a complicated invoice. Just send us an email, send me an email specifically, and with the client's names and dates, and then we'll pay the $250. And of course, just be in good standing, which is obvious. We always have to add that little catalyst there, or caveat. Okay, so who has any questions regarding this new campaign? Dwayne, you're new and you were asking about the process. So again, if you've not viewed it on the career page, there's a step-by-step guide right here, step by step. I've kind of summarized it today, but also the key is using your landing page, Dwayne, and helping people see if they qualify, not selling them anything. Okay, who else has questions, comments, concerns regarding this new incentive campaign? All right, Kwang's asking, well, what happens at the end of May? Well, our goal, frankly, is to continue this on an ongoing basis, but it's new. So we're going to try it now through the end of May and see how it works. It's very possible that we'll continue it, but we need to test it first. So we're going to run it. We're committed to running it through the end of May. And so if we look at a calendar, let me pull it up on my calendar here. So we have the week of the 10th today, we have the week of the 17th, and the week of the 24th. So there's really 3 weeks left of the month. So each of you could certainly earn an extra $750 this month. And then once we get to the end of May, we'll see how this incentive program worked. And if it was successful, we'll continue it. And if not, we may not. But certainly we're good through the month of May. And again, keep in mind, Brian asked a good question. So no, the threshold is 10 a week. So 9 doesn't do anything for you. 8 doesn't do anything for you. The incentive, thank you for asking that, Brian, is 10 a week, 10 a week. So you want to make sure you hit 10 a week. And so that's the way the incentive is set up. There's no carryovers, there's no credits. It's either you hit 10 or not in a given week, which we see many of you do. So I don't think it'll be a problem, but that's the specific goal. Now, if you don't hit 10, you still get the normal compensation, for your 9 or 8 or 7, 6, 5, 4, whatever the number is, so you're not losing anything, but the carrot, the incentive is by helping 10 or more qualify per week by going through those 3 steps. Remember the system. So let's say, Brian, that you put me in. Well, you walk me through it. And so I put in my information here, hit get started. If I didn't complete step 2, or if I completed step 2 but didn't complete step 3, you get notified via email. The system will generate an email out to you to prompt you, hey, by the way, Tom Montgomery didn't finish the steps. You may want to reach out to him. So that kind of feeds into DeAndre's question, which is, what if you have someone that started the process yesterday? Do they count? Sure, because the trigger is when they've completed step 3. So some of you probably already have a head start. You have some people that have started the 3-step process but haven't completed it, and you're notified via email. You're automatically notified of that. So yes, if you have anyone that started the 3 steps but has not completed it, then that's fine, as long as of midnight today going forward, Central Time, that counts towards this week, or midnight Saturday. So it would be starting today. Sorry for that bumbling. Okay, so no rollovers, Brian. Who else has questions on this new incentive campaign? So Mark's asking, about lead generation. So you're right. What we're not talking about here is how to generate the leads. Today we're talking about how to help people qualify. But Mark, you're hitting the nail on the head. You need a lead to be able to walk through the 3 steps. And that's what you all are experts at, or that's what you get paid to do, is to go out and to educate and generate leads. So some of you post on Craigslist, some on Facebook, some of you are doing workshops. We've been talking about that a lot. And workshops are a slam dunk, right? Because you're going to almost always have more than 10 from each workshop, but there's information about the setting up the workshops here on these 2 videos. But you're right. If you don't have any leads, then you probably won't have any conversions. So, but that's what you do. That's your role in all of this, is to have some competency to generate leads. You can buy leads. You can organically generate leads. You can teach workshops and generate leads. but that is your mark. That's your role. That's what you bring to the table. And so some of you, unfortunately, don't seem to have the ability to do that. And then it's probably not the right role for you because you're being paid off of conversions, off of results. Okay, who else has any questions regarding, and it can be as broad as, how does the Access to Capital program work? Any other questions on the 3-step process? And of course, most relevant, any questions on this new bonus program that we're going to run through the end of May? Okay, let's go ahead and get your feedback before we wrap it up. If each of you could go to the Q&A, the question and answer in Zoom, and let me know, do you think that you can qualify for a bonus this week or not? Yes or no? So each of you, I'll call you out here. I'm not going to say, I won't state your name to the rest of the group, but Anthony, type in yes or no. Well, we got two Anthonys, Anthony P, Anthony S. April, yes or no? Do you think you can hit 10 this week for an extra $250 in your pocket, which would be paid on Monday? Barry, do you think you can hit 10 this week? Because again, you're not selling anything to anyone. All you're doing is taking them to your landing page, walking them through 3 steps. Bernard, you think you can knock out 10? That would offset your joint venture fee. Brian, do you think you can do 10? Kwong, do you think you can do 10? DeAndre, Dwayne, Erica, James, Joseph, I'm looking for feedback from each of you. And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious what your levels of competency are, because this proposition is so needed. Most small business owners, most entrepreneurs want to need capital to start and grow. Even if they've gotten EIDL and PPP, there's a thirst for capital that most growing businesses have. So what you and I know is there's certainly a significant demand for capital. The proposition that we offer is pretty darn attractive, isn't it? Let's summarize the bullets again. No upfront cost. That's a big bullet. Number 2, guaranteed $100,000. That's a really big bullet. Third, no minimum credit score to enroll. That's huge because a lot of people have jacked up credit. No minimum time in business to enroll. That's big because a lot of funding programs want a minimum of, let's say, 2 years in business. And of course, offered through a 501c3 nonprofit, which enhances the credibility. So great. So I'm looking across the board. I would say I should have set up a little poll, but it looks like about 90% of you feel that you can hit the 10 this week. And I believe you. There's a small fraction that say maybe, and then there's a few that just say, hell no, it won't happen. And so that's okay. But we'll be here each day, each week, coaching and supporting. The need is there. The demand is there. I know some of you have tried the purchase leads, and we've had kind of mixed results with those. I'll pop up the lead source for you. Give me just a second, and I'll put it here on the screen because I know some of you are looking for that. So let me copy and paste that. And for this lead source, we don't get any. Jacob is your contact, and Dion, this is what you're looking for. We don't get any kickback or revenue share or anything, but you can buy leads from Jacob. And these are small businesses that are looking for capital. So, I mean, it's spot on. You can get fresh, hot leads, those that have just recently inquired. I think you can even get live phone transfers. Frankly, I've never done those. But we have and do buy leads from them. We normally buy 500 to 600 at a time. And then we have a call center that we've hired that makes the outbound calls. But, and you get emails, phone numbers, and names. And so supposedly all these people have expressly requested information about money for their business. But again, this is not my business. I'm not Jacob's a good guy, but I'm not friends with him. I don't have any financial relationship. But if you want to buy leads, you can contact Jacob and see if he could help you. my recommendation, even more so than that, or at least in addition to that, is really consider the workshops. And we've talked about that last week with these two trainings. That's golden. You know, you'll do 100 a month if you do workshops. Okay, so let me see if there's any other questions that anyone has. All right, and so I'm going to, I think, conclude today's call. Some of you have some more questions about workshops. We'll go back and visit it more tomorrow, so I just don't commingle topics and confuse people. But let's wrap it up. So what do we have? We have a new incentive program that's going to run through the end of May. We may very well continue it beyond May, but right now we're committed. You got to realize we've got about more than 5,000 of you. But let's round off and say we've got 5,000 distribution partners. That's an understatement, but let's go with that. So we've got 5,000 plus, and we're promising to pay each of you $250 a week. And there's 3 weeks left in the month. We've had to set aside $3.7 million to fund this, and the money's there. You will get paid. So we've had to set aside technically $3,750,000 out of reserves to make sure that there's money available to pay you all for this. And it's set aside for the month of May. So I would encourage you to go grab your portion of the $3 million and help more people earn more income. So again, this new incentive doesn't take anything away. It's on top of the normal compensation that you're already earning. Hopefully it just creates a little more urgency, a little more focus, a little more diligence, more immediate feedback, immediate compensation. All right, well, thanks everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Let's get those numbers rolling in. Talk to you soon.